Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Glenn.
And I'm Kevin.
And we are two reasonable guys. Today we're going to do a action movie badass draft. So most of you are like, what the hell are you talking about?
We're just a bunch of 14-year-olds in our parents' basement talking about shitty action movies, essentially.
Exactly. I thought you were going to say we're like those real nerds who do like football, fantasy football, and fantasy baseball. You know those nerds that didn't play role-playing games, they actually did like fantasy sports.
Right, did fantasy sports, right.
Those losers, exactly. Those geeks. They could have been rolling dice, but they're
closet
like,
geeks, wasting their time with sports ball. They could have been rolling up a D&D character.
Exactly. Wasted childhood.
It's a shame. It is a wasted childhood, totally.
So what we're going to do here is we are going to take turns, Kev and I, building our perfect 5-person badass Commando strike team. And this is sort of inspired by the group of colonial marines from Aliens, or the group of, I guess, mercenaries from Predator, those 80s and 90s action movies that had these just real badass mother effers who just, they could take care of business. They could just kill hundreds of people and not get a scratch. So we're like,
yeah. They had very little backstory, very little care for consequence, and they just fuck shit up, you know? And it was fun to watch, fun to talk about, inadvertently hilarious, and
right.
We figured we'd just riff about what it would be like if we had a chance to put together our own. I guess you can kind of say it's not really a cross genre team, but like a cross movie team of nigh plot indestructible badasses.
Exactly. Like if we had some, if we were like gods and we could say, all right, I'm going to pick 5 people and you pick 5 people and we'll plop them in this arena, kind of like what they did with Kirk. And then they pit him against the Gorn. I'm going to pick 5 fictional characters and Kevin's going to pick 5 fictional characters, place them on a planet somewhere and make them do battle.
Was that the Clint Howard episode?
What, with the Gorn?
Yeah. No,
all the Trekkies now are going to get pissed off.
I'm just, whatever, man. I'm not a huge original series buff. Ask me anything about Next Gen or Deep Space Nine. I'm pretty much good to go. But I know Clint Howard was like some sort of all-powerful space being, and I yeah.
Kind of, but not really.
I only saw the episode once. Arena? Is that the name of the episode?
Arena's the one with the Gorn, yeah.
Yes. See, I know shit.
All right, you know something. You know something of that series.
I know some things. Yes, I know. I know like 4 things from that series.
Exactly. No, you know a little bit more than that. But again, you need
6 things.
It's time for a rewatch, sir.
It is. And I still, yeah, I know.
All right, so here are the ground rules for who we could pick, because we had to have some ground rules, otherwise it would get completely out of hand. So we're only allowed to pick 100% human being characters. So nobody with magical powers, nobody with superpowers, nobody who's been augmented either via genetic engineering or cybernetics or anything of that nature. These are just people. That being said, just to give an example, Han Solo is fair game, because even though Han Solo isn't quote unquote a human being born on Earth, he's 100% human. So you could pick someone who's of another world, assuming that they are no different in any way, shape, or form than an actual human being. Make sense?
I mean, I got it.
All right, good. Hopefully everybody else gets it. And I think what we're doing is I'm going to pick 5 and Kev's going to pick 5, but we're doing it like a draft. Yeah. So if I pick someone, if I get the round 1 pick, which again, I don't have a coin. We have to flip it. You know what, Kev? I'm just going to say you can go first. I'm not even going to flip a coin because I forgot one. Right. So we're going to take turns. So if Kev picks the character that I was going to pick, either in round 1 or future rounds, I can't pick them. It's just like a sports draft. We're also going to add the rule that you are only allowed to pick a character played by the same actor once for your own team, and then after that, he's off limits. So hypothetically, if I pick an Arnold Schwarzenegger character,
Schwarzenegger rule.
the Schwarzenegger rule, then Kevin's allowed to pick a different Schwarzenegger character, but then that he's off the table. Nobody else can then pick him again. So this kind of prevents us from all having every just Schwarzenegger character on each team.
Only one incarnation of the governor Schwarzenegger.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then I guess the other thing, which this isn't really a rule per se, but when you pick your character, you can say which film that character's from, because there might be a character who's been in a series of films, but in your opinion, there was a specific film where you think they were at their most badassest, if that's a term.
I think we're going to get a lot of audibles. We're going to call some we're going to call some fouls on each other, and I think these rules will shake out a bit more once we start breaking them.
All right, we'll see what the hell happens.
Yeah,
Who knows?
That's what I think, because I have some suspect picks on my list, and I'm sure you do as well. So we'll see what happens. We actually we ironed out a few picks before we started recording, so my list got a little shorter. I don't know about
I had to calm Kevin down. He was all over the map. So
listen, I'm just trying to survive with my team. That's all.
Understood.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to start round one. And Kev, you have first pick. Who is your round one draft pick?
All right, I'm gonna start this off with what could be considered a controversial pick. I don't know, but I'm gonna jump right into it. Batman.
Oh, that was mine.
Dude, the second you said I'm going first, I knew that Bats was mine. Just come on.
Yeah, that was my first pick, and I had a feeling it was going to be your first pick.
And do I even have to say why? I don't think I do.
Most people who are geeks like us probably don't have to justify Batman.
And nor should you.
Yeah, Batman is, I think, an excellent first round draft pick.
Because he's also, if we were going to do this where we had to pick roles, he's kind of a floater. Because he could pretty much do whatever.
Well, yeah, from my point of view, we're trying to pick the most well-rounded badass. So you want someone who's...
He excels in multiple categories, right?
Correct.
So he's a near-perfect pick.
Yeah, I think he is a near-perfect pick. And he was, of course, my choice for round one. And, yeah, I'm not going to argue with that. That is a great pick.
One of us had to do it.
Now, some people might say, oh, Batman's only good if he's got all of his wonderful toys.
I disagree.
I would disagree with that too, but I could hear some people out there saying, "Oh, that's not fair." If he's got the,
if you take somebody and take away all their gear and throw them in a pit naked, that's going to affect them. You know what I'm saying? If you take away their stuff and you take them out of their element, that would affect almost anybody, right? Especially someone on this list who's human. No extracurricular activity, style powers.
Right.
That could affect. That line right there could affect everything and anybody.
Yes, but from my point of view, I'm going to try to pick folks that if they were stripped naked, they'd still be pretty damn badass. And I think Batman / Bruce Wayne, unequipped, is still really badass. So I think it's a good pick. Like I said, that was my number one pick, and I was almost positive it was going to be yours. But I am ready for my round one pick, who I think is also an excellent pick.
Okay. So
my first round pick is going to be John Wick.
Yeah, that was I was going to say that if you didn't. I'm not going to argue with. He's literally number 2 on my list. So I'm definitely not going to argue that one. That's an excellent pick. And anyone who's listening to this who hasn't seen all 3 John Wick movies, run, don't walk. Watch them right now. We'll wait, because they're not only excellent action flicks, they're just fun. I think they're very well made movies. For pacing, character design. They start, especially in the second one, they start opening up the world building a lot. Huge fan. So yeah, watch them.
But just in general, John Wick is like, again,
dude, he's Baba Yaga.
But again, if you see, but imagine Bruce Wayne like in a suit going against John Wick, I don't know. Like in my head, maybe John Wick kills Bruce Wayne.
Space time. I don't know, man. Like space time might stop, might explode because you've got the unstoppable force versus the immovable object.
I mean, yeah.
Right.
You know.
I mean, if you wanted to use comic terms, I would equate John Wick to maybe closer to the Red Hood, who was all about guns.
Sure. I mean, yeah. Here's where Batman / Bruce Wayne probably has the edge over John Wick is with his, I guess, just intelligence, cunning. You know what I mean? His cognitive abilities are very advanced, and I would assume absolutely way more advanced than Wick. And that's kind of how Batman might beat Wick by sort of assessing the environment and, you know, and being able to sort of predict what Wick might do. And then even though Wick's a little bit better with the gun and maybe a little bit better, you know, with his fighting skills, arguably.
No, I would say Batman is hands down close combat master, but Wick uses that gun fu like a damn wizard. So I mean, the guy's. I mean, it would be a great fight. I would love to see that. Hell, I would even watch that animated. I think that'd be amazing.
All right, cool. I think we are ready for round 2. And unfortunately, because I gave you first pick, you get to go first again in round 2.
I'm gonna have to collect myself here because you threw me for a loop. You know what? I think I'm gonna go with James Bond.
That was my pick again, you son of a bitch.
I live inside of your mind.
No, you know your shit. So,
you know what it is? Having the humanity rule is very helpful, right? Because it narrows it down just enough so we're not poring over movie after TV show after comic book.
And again, we're not picking Thanos and Q and some other.
You can't, right? Because then it boils down to you got to get even more specific.
But then it's impossible to even judge whether somebody's better than the other person because it's just all magic and mayhem and nonsense.
Well, I remember back when I was a kid. You remember Wizards magazine? Remember that?
I do. Flash from the past. I do.
So they used to have lists like this. And I remember there were 2 lists that I remember in particular. One was who would win in like just a straight up barroom brawl, and it essentially came down to Hulk and Wolverine. Those were like the top 2.
Okay, it makes sense.
You know, and then they had like an all out cosmic battle, and you know the list for the all out cosmic battle, and Hulk was number 10. And the second I saw that, I'm like, okay, I knew it was pretty serious.
Right.
Serious shit. Spoiler, I'm a huge Hulk fan, but that list was full of heavy hitters.
All right. I think, so now I have to go. So you nailed me twice. I think I have a really good alternate.
All right, lay it on me.
So my round 2 pick is going to be John Matrix from the movie Commando.
God damn it. Oh man!
Is that what your next pick was?
Well, he was in my stable of Schwarzeneggers, so I could just ace him off that stable right there. Well, that's a solid pick.
For me, that was, I think, the most badass. I've got 2 Johns. I got John Wick and John Matrix.
You went double John,
right?
But I mean, Commando, John Matrix. I mean, he was totally ridiculous in that movie.
He's absolutely insane in that movie. Yeah. I mean, super confident.
But the ability to back up the confidence, right? He could talk shit and then immediately deliver that shit.
Exactly. Shit. He's just completely comfortable. Like, he breaks into the gun shop and just takes everything and then just everything he does, you know, he's basically large and in charge the entire film. No one's going to take this guy down. He's an absolute badass.
He is an absolute badass. I mean, if he were an RPG character, he'd have no sheet because he wouldn't need one. Whatever he wants to do, just do it. Don't even roll dice. Just do it.
If you think about it, what we just said, when we talked about Bond, or we talked about Batman and Wick, we're like, if they had nothing, what could they accomplish? And that's exactly what Matrix has in Commando. He's caught off guard. He's just like living in the woods, chopping wood with his daughter. And then all of a sudden he has to just jump back into action from nothing, and he basically jumps off a 747 after killing that guy. And then just figures out how to just get the shit done, man. So he's a badass, man.
I can't disagree with you at all.
All right, so who do you have? You now get to go.
See, now I got
first pick for round 3.
I've got like a bunch of picks here. Now that I'm starting to kind of get into this, because I have a ton of alternates all over the map. But you know what? I am going to go with Beatrix Kiddo from Kill Bill.
She was on my list.
Ah, nice.
But she was much further down on my list of picks than where you put her. But she was absolutely on my list.
Here's the reason why I picked her is because she'd also started with nothing, not even knowledge of who she was. And she murdered a whole building full of people.
Yes,
so
the Crazy 88.
Yep, led by the illustrious Johnny Moe.
Yes.
Who I believe is the same actor who plays Pai Mei.
You are correct, sir.
Yes, she was just a total badass, a total like unassuming badass too, right? You see her, blonde hair, blue eyed, and then she just cuts your arms and legs off. Right, end of story.
Right. I think the only reason why she was definitely on my list, she was a little bit of a lower pick. And I think for me, she was only a lower pick because I didn't know how she was with sort of guns and stuff like that. We only saw her do martial arts and sword work about 99% of the time. I think the only time we see her with a gun is in that flashback when she finds out she's pregnant and that chick who's a surgeon with a shotgun is about to kill her. She kind of pulls a gun on her, and they kind of have a two-person Mexican standoff.
I think we got to fill in the blanks here because the other people on that squad. Yeah, all had various forms of training, right?
Correct.
Like we saw in the flashback that Lucy Liu's character basically put a bullet through that guy's mouth at however many yards away. So I'm gonna go out on a limb and assume, for list purposes, that her murder skills did not end with melee weapons.
No, and I would agree with you too, but it was the only reason why I pushed her down because I had some other people above who I was a little bit more confident.
So this has become a chess game, and I feel like I've got other people on this list that I may be able to counter you with. You know what I'm saying? And the chances of me picking your third person, as I've picked your first and second, I would say fairly low. So that's why I went with Beatrix Kiddo.
I'm going for a female myself.
Okay, I think I know who you're going to pick
for my third pick.
Okay,
I think you know, but I'm going to I think you're wrong.
I got two other females in top slots here, and I think it's one of them. But let's see.
I have a feeling this character is on your list somewhere. So my pick for round 3 is going to be Black Widow from the Avengers.
Yep, that's one of them. That's a great pick.
Yeah, and for I guess almost all of the same reasons you just talked up. The bride Beatrix Kiddo from Kill Bill.
Right.
Just all around. Martial arts, acrobatics, guns, knives, swords, whatever you put in her hand.
Right.
I mean, she's in the freaking Avengers, and basically everybody has superpowers, and she doesn't, and she can hold her own.
Hawkeye.
Except that asshole Hawkeye. Hawkeye sucks. I hate Hawkeye. Hawkeye, I swear to God, when Hawkeye's on the Avengers, I feel like because it's Samuel L. Jackson's like brother-in-law's son or something. And he's like, all right, I know the kid's having a hard time and he hasn't really been able to get a job. His archery school didn't really take off. They don't
do him right in the movies. Hawkeye is much more of a presence in the comics.
He's like Frodo Baggins with a bow and arrow.
I could say that about most of the Avengers. Like, I don't like the way they did Hulk in the Avengers. They did like the 60s stupid Hulk. essentially.
Yeah, well, it was supposed to be Ed Norton, and then they just, he jumped ship, but...
Yeah, but I mean, I was excited when they kind of introduced like lab coat Hulk, like 90s Hulk in the later movies, or later
Hulk.
movie, Smart Hulk. But then he kind of was like, he took a back seat. Like, oh, God.
Yeah, because they just want him to smash.
They dangled the carrot, and then they were like, nope, fuck you.
Because the audience, it's a popcorn movie, for Christ's sake. They just Hulk smash. You know what I mean? That's what they want. Tony Stark, be all snarky and shit. I think I said Tony Snark, but that's basically who he is.
You know what? I'm going to table this because I could literally talk about my gripes with Hulk's on-screen presence for like an hour. So that was a solid pick. If I look back on this list, on this podcast, I probably would regret not going with Black Widow first, but we live and learn.
We live and learn.
But oh God. See, so this is pick 4, right? We got 2 people left. This is this is getting down to brass tacks. I'm gonna have to kick it up a notch here. Damn it. I'm gonna go John McClane.
Okay.
Yeah,
See, now
I'm gonna go John
McClane did not make my list. You're stunned that he didn't make my list.
I'm a little. Oh, damn it.
What?
Nah, I think I may have fucked up. It's okay. I said it. No backsies. No, this is iron dice. Can't go back. I'm gonna stick with John McClane.
Okay.
And again, from the reason, like in Die Hard, in the first Die Hard, he literally started with nothing. Right? He didn't even have shoes, and he systematically eliminated almost an entire team of international terrorists.
I understand what you're saying, but a group of international terrorists who were not particularly that bright or that skilled. I'm just saying right here, John McClane goes against John Wick, John Matrix, Black Widow, Batman, James Bond, or The Bride, and he's dead in 3 minutes.
Well,
any one of those people.
He did go up against some heavy hitters in the second and third movie. Especially the third, and he did it hungover. So I mean, I'm giving this guy. He's low on the totem pole.
All I'm saying is this: that everybody that John McClane took care of in all of those movies,
right?
Everybody else on our list could have taken out. It would have been a no contest.
I mean, I did admit that I screwed up a bit. So I'm not going to argue this point too much, but I think he does deserve some credit just for his tenacity.
No, I mean, I think he's an absolute badass. I just don't know if he's the cream of the crop. That's what I say.
All right, I really screwed up. After we finish, I'm gonna tell you who I should have. I'm gonna tell you who I should have picked because I was
probably
looking
who
at
I'm
him.
gonna pick. It's probably who I'm gonna pick right now.
It's what? Yeah, I have a funny feeling I know who you're gonna pick, and yeah. And if it is who I think, I have a counter argument, but go ahead.
All right, so for my 4th round pick, I'm going with my third John Rambo.
I knew you were going to say that. Okay, that's fine. And that was who I was going to say. And my counter is that guy's too damaged to be consistently effective.
He doesn't have to be consistently effective. He's out of his fucking mind, and he's insane, and you send him into battle and he gets the job done.
Did you see the most recent Rambo movie?
No, I don't know if I want to see that.
That's one of the reasons I didn't pick him.
Yeah, I mean, if I would pick the movie, I would probably say it all fit, look, I mean, First Blood's the best Rambo movie.
I mean, absolutely, yeah.
But just for the sake of argument for the list, I would go with the Rambo from First Blood Part 2. Ooh, because I think that's the one that really shows that he can, you could send him into a situation where there's, in the first one, because you can make the argument, who does he kill in the first one? A bunch of, fucking hillbilly cops and the guy from Cocoon.
A bunch of shithead cops, right? And the guy from Cocoon.
Yeah, he kills the guy from Cocoon, basically. Like, all right, it's okay.
So, right. I mean, my big counter argument to Rambo, and it's one of the reasons I hesitated, was that he has immense PTSD, and that would affect his performance.
Yeah, but look, I mean, a lot of the characters on our list are very damaged psychologically. They need years of therapy. They all need years of therapy. You know?
Yes.
Except maybe John Matrix, because I don't think anything phases
No,
that
he's
guy.
not. He's beyond therapy.
Yeah,
right?
He doesn't care. He doesn't give a shit about anything.
I think maybe James Bond is free and clear as well.
No, not at all. Not at all.
You don't think? You don't think so? You don't think he's made peace with the Bondness?
And I didn't ask you this, which I should, and I don't like to go back. But which James Bond do you pick?
That's a hard question. I'd probably go with Daniel Craig.
Yeah, for me, I had Daniel Craig from Spectre. I thought that was probably Bond at his most badass.
Like, I know that you guys, and we have some close friends of ours who are Bond like specialists, right? And I would count you among them, Glenn. But I'm not a huge, like, I've got huge holes in my Bond movie watching experience.
And I don't blame you, because the whole franchise it's morphed from very serious hardcore action to very silly light comedy. It's hard. You have to really be a diehard Bond fan to stick through it through every iteration. But most people I know who like James Bond, there's usually a window of Bond films that they don't particularly care for whatever reason, because it's whatever flavor they just didn't grow up on, or they just couldn't really get a hang of. But I have a fondness for every single one of them.
Yeah, so, that's cool. I was a big fan. I was a Connery Bond fan until I saw Casino Royale, and I really like that movie. That's probably my favorite Bond movie that I've seen. And
it's a good one to have. It's your favorite.
It's a really good one.
We have one more pick. We have our fifth pick. And who is your fifth pick?
I got really frazzled. Okay. I'm gonna go with Dutch Schaefer from Predator.
Interesting. Okay. And I don't think that's a bad call at all. I mean,
and one of the reasons I'm going with him is that he basically defeated an extraterrestrial, and a more powerful, arguably more skilled extraterrestrial at his own game, by the way.
No, I mean, let's be honest. If I wanted a Schwarzenegger and you picked John Matrix, I probably would have went
with
Dutch. Yeah, I think he's the next. I think he's the second best Schwarzenegger badass after John Matrix. So I agree with you. I think that is definitely a good pick. And he has good company, and he's got good friends in that movie.
He's got a solid squad that I think just got caught. They were just I'd say they were out of their element, but they were kind of in it, right? They were in combat, but they weren't expecting an invisible chainsaw with arms and legs. Right?
No, not at all. But yeah, that is a killer team in and of itself. Yeah, so I think that's a good pick.
All right, what's your last pick? I want to see if it's on my list, because all the people that you picked were on my list, and I'm pretty sure that all the people that I picked were on your list.
Yeah, I'm kind of having a hard time.
We got a lot of top picks out, so yeah.
I have two that I'm sort of
you waffling on. You got to follow your heart. Actually, you know what? Yeah, do that, because I did that with McClane and I regretted it instantly. So yeah, go ahead, follow your heart.
No, I don't think either one of these is bad, but all right. I think you assumed this was a pick I was going to make before, but I'm going to make it now. So I'm going to pick Sarah Connor from Terminator 2.
That's a good pick. That was, yes. Okay. Excellent pick.
Yeah. And, again, come on. I mean, she's a machine, basically.
She's right. She's got the right amount of crazy to one, like, so this is why it was rough. Me not picking her, because I between her, I have a couple other females on this list that I think are outstanding heroic characters.
Right.
And she starts in T1 as like a waitress, untrained civilian for all intents and purposes, and she manages to even not even going to mention the aid of someone from the future. Now she survives being stalked by a machine. A murder, basically a murder machine. Right. So she survives. Then she hones her mind, body, and soul to be a consummate survivor.
Right.
And she pulls it off again. You know, and and she actually, if you've seen the latest movie, she pulls it off a third time. But I mean, yeah, she's a great pick, great character.
But she's also, her skill set is very well. She's basically a weapons expert. She knows hand-to-hand combat. She knows melee combat.
She knows demolitions, right?
Right. She knows she could drive. She's got all of the skills. You know, she does have all the skills, and again, the steely will of almost, which they kind of compared her to. It's almost like she became a Terminator in Terminator 2 when she goes after Miles, what is it? Miles Dyson?
Miles Dyson. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So she's just got that, she's got an amazing game face.
Right.
You know what I mean? When it's time to go to work, she doesn't waver. So, that's like a John Wick. She's got that same just steely determination, and nothing is going to stop her. So, yeah, I'm happy to have her on my team.
All right, I'm looking at this. I'm looking at these teams, and I don't know who would come out on top.
Again, unfortunately, you have that 1 week pick with John McClane, which you do regret.
And the thing is, though, all right, listen, he's only weak in comparison to some of the other people that we've picked, and maybe even some of the other people on my list. But I don't think he's necessarily a bad pick. I just don't know if it's as strong as I could have. I don't know if it's the best mustard I could have put on the sandwich. You know what I'm saying? All
right, so let's do this. Like you said, we might be calling some audibles.
No,
so
I'm not gonna change it if that's what you're saying. I was gonna
stick
to my guns, man.
What if we say, we've got 5 members on our team, and now if we like
we could
swap one of them out, or if you want, if you want to leave McClane in, and as opposed to a swap, we could pick one more alternate. Just to see,
I'd say we go for an alternate just to balance it out. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like on like a semester's test scores, you drop the lowest score. You know what I mean?
We can have an alternate, somebody who might be on the bench, just in case somebody goes down, someone just in
case the plot dictates that a character dies or goes to prison or gets turned into a fucking cube or something, right? There's got to be a way out.
Wait, why would they be turned into a cube? What am I missing?
I don't know. I just picked something ridiculous.
Remember that movie where they were turned into a cube? Well, there was a Star Trek episode, an original series episode.
That's why I said. Look at that second flex on original Star Trek.
Yeah, but I think they didn't turn them into cubes. I think they turned them into like 8-sided die. I think that's what it was.
Fuck. All right.
Close enough.
I tried. Yeah.
All right. So here we go. So again, since you went first, you go first. Who is your
my alternate? I got a bunch here.
I got a ton on my list.
I got a ton of alternates. Jeez. I might have to go with Brian Mills from Taken. I mean, I've got quite a few here who I will speak about in detail after we're done. But I think I'm going to go with Brian Mills just because of what he manages to pull off in Taken.
Okay, I will admit I have not seen any of those movies, and I don't know if that's
watch the first one. Yeah.
So he wasn't out on my list. I was aware he was out there, and I did write him down. But in all fairness, since I could not speak to his actual set of skills, I didn't pick him because that would not be cool to pick someone I'm not familiar with. So
it shows your integrity right there. That's
exactly. I have good integrity. Although I do like my alternate. Now I had one. And I'm going to mention this after, and I'm going to explain why, because he was actually my alternate for the first round. And then I decided, again, because of my integrity, or maybe just I was being smart, I decided not to pick him at all. But before I get into that, my alternate, and I don't think you were going to have any idea that I would go this route.
All right, let me hear it.
So my alternate is Marv from Sin City.
Okay, that's a good alternate. Is he? But here's the thing: he's not on my list, but he definitely crossed my mind. and I wasn't sure if he was going to be allowed.
Why?
Because I don't know if he's definitively human.
Absolutely.
I think he is. He is, right? I mean, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not a big Sin City expert.
No, they just they did the makeup. The way Frank Miller drew him, he looked like a tank, but he's absolutely a person.
He is a human, right? He's just a human with outstanding fortitude. Let's just say.
He's just a fucking monster. He's just an animal.
It's a solid alternate.
Yeah, I mean, he just tears everybody apart in that movie. He's
hilarious.
now to go back to what you said, I mean, he's heavily medicated and he can't really tell reality from fantasy.
He has flashes, and he eventually kind of loses it. But it's a good pick.
But again, if you put him on the field of combat and you point him in the direction of things that need to die, he's going to get the job done.
He'll pull it off. Yeah, he'll definitely pull it off. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
So you want to know the person that I was going to pick at first round, and then I just never picked him at all because I just felt. Yeah, I was going to pick Tony Stark, Iron Man.
Dude, he's all right. He is literally he's under Batman on my list, and I crossed him off because we said no augments.
Yeah, see, and that's the thing. And I thought about it. I'm like, he's not augmented.
Yes, he is though. He is augmented. He's got an arc reactor in his chest, and without it, he'd be dead.
Yeah, but
augment, baby.
But does the arc reactor give him extra strength of any kind?
Well, it allows him to power his suits.
I guess you're right. You're right.
Listen, it's a really I think that's a really thin line, but I erred on the side of no for that one because I had crossed him off my list. I mean, and as far as augments go, I was going to pick Rick Sanchez from Rick and Morty because he's an absolute fucking tornado of destruction if push came to shove. But he's got all sorts of weird augments that we've seen over the course of the show. So
okay, yeah. I mean, I wasn't really thinking that. I guess from my point of view, I just felt like without the suit, he's really nothing.
I mean, all right. So he is very smart. In yes. MCU, Tony Stark he's like a demigod. He could do all. Like he's unflappable. MCU Tony Stark is like dumb powerful.
Yeah, yeah. But I don't know. I could
also talk about my distaste of how ridiculous he is for quite some time, and I won't.
Understood. All right, so let's recap, and then we'll go into, I guess, some of our alternates that just never made it on the list.
I got a couple of names here that I'd like to talk about, just because I feel they have a lot of value.
All right, let me just recap. Yeah. Can I just recap our team so everybody knows?
Go ahead. Absolutely.
All right, so Kev's all-star team of action movie badasses is Batman, James Bond, The Bride, Beatrix Kiddo from Kill Bill, John McClane from Die Hard, and Dutch from Predator.
Yep.
It's a solid team, except for maybe John McClane, but we're not going to get back into that. And your alternate was Brian Mills from Taken, the Taken series. My team was John Wick, John Matrix from the movie Commando, Black Widow from the Avengers, and 35 other random Marvel movies.
Yep.
John Rambo, no explanation. It's fucking Rambo. And Sarah Connor from Terminator 2. And then my alternate was Marv from Sin City, played by the incomparable Mickey Rourke.
I mean, they're both solid. I think they're both solid teams.
They're definitely both solid teams. I mean, again, you've got your top two picks were my top two picks, and you got them. So
yeah, I mean, and like everyone on your list was on my list in some way, shape, or form, as either an alternate or like a backup in case you scooped one of my people up. You know what I mean? So let's talk about some other names, honorable mentions, if you will, because I don't know about you, but I definitely this is a rabbit hole. You know, looking at movie and TV and comic and just media badasses. The list goes on and on and on. So,
and it's weird. All of mine, most of mine are from films, or even if they are from comics, they were in also in films.
Sure, yeah.
I couldn't really think of anybody who is exclusively from a comic that I wanted or exclusively from TV that I wanted. But so who are some of your, like, who would be on the farm team? Who's in the the minor league, the AAA team, just in case somebody dies on the major league team? Who are some of those guys?
I guess captain of the farm team is Ellen Ripley from Aliens.
Yeah, she was on my list too.
And I was waffling. Yeah, it was real close. And the only reason it was like I just felt the Bride had such a high body count and like a big skill set. But and then for Ripley's a certified badass, and she took on an alien queen, right? Like, she's super resourceful. Like, she's almost the full package. But it was the hard choice. It was a really tough choice.
To me, I mean, Ellen Ripley is very resourceful, resilient, and has an iron will. She doesn't have incredible. She's not a weapons expert or a martial arts expert. She doesn't have any of that.
I think she's resourceful. She's very intelligent. I think she picked up on the skills that she used to basically get as far as she did. The Class 2 rating of the loader aside, which she had, that was already part of her character history, so to speak.
Right.
The weapon skills that she picked up from Hicks, right? She just hit the ground running with that, and she was ready to go.
Right. Speaking of Hicks, I thought about him for a bit.
Yeah, I thought about all those guys. I thought about Vasquez. I thought about Hicks. I thought about Hudson. I thought about what's his name? Apone a bit. As like, if we were going to do like coaches and stuff, right? I thought about maybe Apone as some sort of captain, you know what I mean? Or trainer. But we kind of abandoned that whole, like,
another day in the Corps. Wait, that was an Apone, right?
Yeah, it was. Another proud day in the Corps. Every meal a banquet. Every formation a parade. I love the Corps. That guy's fucking awesome. I love that movie.
Just chewing on that cigar like it was candy.
Oh, yeah. Yep. The unlit cigar.
Yeah.
If that doesn't make him a badass, I don't know what does. Like, just chewing on an unlit cigar.
He is, but we never really saw him.
Shits and giggles.
Never saw him in action.
He didn't get enough screen time. He died before his time. You know what I mean?
Right. Mm-hmm. When you mentioned, because I think Hicks, Reese from Terminator I thought might be a good choice as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, for the same reasons that you picked Sarah Connor, I think Reese definitely. What was his name? John Reese? I'm going to get shit for this, but Kyle Reese. I'm sorry.
Kyle Reese, yeah.
Reese. I think, for the same reasons that you picked Sarah Connor, you have to at least mention, called him Hicks. at least mention Reese. For the skills, right? The guy had survival skills.
He's good, but I think Terminator 2 Sarah Connor might be a little better than him.
Yeah, I think her like psyche had more time to marinate in the crazy.
But also, like you said,
right.
she made it a point to find the best mercenaries and learn from them. Like, Reese didn't have that option. He's just thrown into the shit because the world's upside down, and
she had
to figure it out.
She had contacts, right? She had I'm going to go so far as to say she had like the safe house equivalent. She had she had stashes.
Yeah, she took John Rambo's masterclass. She took that online course.
Absolutely, yep.
Like at least 3 times, did all the paperwork, all the forms.
Yep. No, she's definitely on the leaderboard for that class.
Yeah, no, she was good. I mean, amazing. All right, you want to hear a couple of mine?
Go for it.
This one might be, I don't know. I don't know if you will agree or disagree, but he had to make my list, and he's pretty high up. He's a pretty high up alternate, and that's James Dalton from Roadhouse.
All right.
I mean, come on, man. That guy can rip throats out at will and decides not to.
You're right. His throat ripping skills, his throat rip technology is definitely can be a valuable addition to the team. And again, nothing I think he's a little light in other areas, though. I mean, he's a ladies' man. He's got those martial arts skills, the throat skills, but I don't know. Put him in a firefight, though. I don't know.
Pain don't hurt. That's what he said.
True. You're right. That's true.
Which
Pain
is like a slightly lamer version of I Ain't Got Time to Bleed, but kind of the same.
The big
thing.
difference there is Dalton didn't die, right?
That's true. Exactly.
I mean, ultimately, the body did have time to bleed.
Yeah.
So
he had plenty of time to bleed.
Did he bleed though? I feel like that he got shot. He got a hole put in him, and I feel like it got cauterized. So technically, he may not have had time to bleed.
Just that magic Swayze juices, just miraculously cured. He just danced it away.
Jesse the body.
Oh, right? Jesse the body. You're talking about now?
Swayze definitely had magic Swayze juices.
Yes, he does. That doesn't sound right at all.
I mean,
on any level.
I'm not arguing that point. The Swayze is.
That sounds like a failed beverage from the Coca-Cola company.
The Swayze juice,
like the tie-in from Ghost. Only a Taco Bell, magic Swayze juice with a chalupa combo. No, we don't want. No, that sounds awful. Nobody wants.
Would you like extra Swayze juice with that? You know what? I'm gonna pass. No,
I'm gonna pass. I'll pass on that. Thanks.
Hard pass on the Swayze juice.
Yeah. I'd rather put Baby in the corner.
I think that's why Baby was in the corner.
She drank the juice a little too much.
Too much Swayze juice.
A little too much of the magic Swayze juice. That's why she couldn't. Yeah.
All right, I'm changing the subject.
All right, let's get off the Swayze.
I was thinking maybe John Spartan from Demolition Man.
Okay, interesting call. Now, why? See, okay, is John Spartan obviously not as good as Rambo? But I'm wondering, is there any other?
He's not. But
is there any other Stallone character? Isn't Cobra a little bit more of a badass than John Spartan?
So John Spartan, I think, ekes out Marion Cobretti because he is essentially a stranger in a strange land, right? He managed to keep he kept some of his I'm going to say all of his skills, and he had to develop some new ones. And he was able to track down and ultimately defeat a superior opponent. Because Simon Phoenix, who was on my list, we shot down because he was clearly augmented.
Yeah, but you're forgetting the one reason why he's actually not as good as you say he is.
I know what you're going to say, and it doesn't count.
He could not figure out the 3 seashells. He could not figure those out.
But no one on this list knows how to use the 3 seashells.
I don't know. Somebody probably does.
I don't think anybody does. The only is Rob Schneider. You'd have to pick either Sandra Bullock or Rob Schneider, and they're not on any list. Rob
Schneider is only on Adam Sandler's list for some reason. That's the only list Rob Schneider appears on. Or I'm assuming a list of people who need to be at least 100 feet away from public schools. I'm sure Rob Schneider's on that list.
He's leveled up his creep. His
really?
Creep score. Yeah.
How could he possibly have leveled it up?
Have you seen him lately? He just looks a little off.
I don't want to.
He was in I think he was in a reality show.
Of course he was.
With his immensely attractive wife.
Really?
Who's
somehow
really good
he managed that?
Who's really good. She's some Mexican woman who's really good at Mortal Kombat. I forgot her name.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
That's what a perfect match.
That's
they're made for each other.
All I know about. That's pretty much all I know about.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, let's please not talk about Rob Schneider on this podcast again for any reason.
I think I got a couple others here, but they go downhill pretty quick.
I still have a couple of good ones. I'll throw a couple out there. I have, of course, Mr. Snake Plissken, which I'm surprised. Okay. I assumed he would have been in your top 5. I was surprised he wasn't. Any reason why he didn't?
Yeah, I forgot about him. I'll admit it.
Wow. Because he's better than McClane. He could take McClane's, right? Swap him out instantly.
I think if we were being forgiving, I probably would have swapped McClane out for Snake Plissken.
How did you forget Plissken?
I dropped the ball on that one.
I'm surprised.
Because honestly, Plissken in my mind has always been overwritten by Jack Burton. And not just in terms of not in terms of badasses, just in terms of Kurt Russell characters. Even though Kurt Russell's got Wyatt Earp. And the only reason I haven't picked Wyatt Earp, the only reason I didn't pick certain people were that they were out of time. You know what I mean? I have Wyatt Earp written here. I have Conan.
Yeah, I thought about Conan.
I have Indiana Jones. You know what I mean? But I feel like those people their skill sets are limited by their genre
I agree.
And or the just the movie and time their time periods, you know?
Yeah.
Like Conan he defeated that wizard just through I'm going to say he made a big brain play, like something very very uncharacteristically
Conan is a lot smarter than what people would think.
Right. And he worked the problem and he defeated a powerful evil wizard.
Right.
But I feel like if you put him on the battlefield with someone like John Matrix, if you go Schwarzenegger to Schwarzenegger, I don't think he stands a chance.
No.
You know? And Indy's very smart and super resourceful, but
no, he's dead in 3 seconds.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think he's got the minerals to go up against certain people, you know?
No.
I mean
agree.
he's a capable character, but a badass? I don't know. I wouldn't put him the first thing I think of when I think of Indy is not badass. Not necessarily badass. It's Sting. You know, the guy's an explorer. He's an intellectual. He definitely has a wide skill set, but mopping the floor with human blood is not one of them. You know,
right. Well, here's a couple others that I had. Anton Chigurh.
Ah, okay. He's on my list too. That's a good one.
Yeah, because he's insane. From No Country for Old Men.
Insane.
Javier Bardem.
Yep.
I considered Mad Max, Rockatansky.
Ooh, okay. It's a good one.
On my list, I have Ash Williams with a question mark. So I don't think I was ever going to pick him, but I just wanted to write his name down.
I would have allowed it, but I would have labeled him a bad pick just because of his overwhelming incompetence.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like he's a wild card.
He kind of lucks his way into everything, basically.
Right. He Forrest Gumps his way through everything.
And then I also had Ethan Hunt from Mission Impossible.
He was going to be my backup if you picked James Bond. I'll be perfectly honest. He's like the James Bond light.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's a good pick, and we were talking about Jason Bourne, right?
Yeah. But I don't know. Again, I don't know if he's. You say he's not enhanced. I think he was kind of programmed by the military, but maybe that's not really being enhanced. I think in the spirit of fair play, we just made a kind of a silent agreement to leave him off to not pick Jason Bourne.
Yeah. I think that's what kind of happened.
There's one guy that I thought you would pick, and maybe he's on your list and you didn't get to him because I know you're a much bigger comic book guy than me, and that's Frank Castle, the Punisher.
Ooh, I didn't even think of him. Oh my God, that would have been a solid pick.
Yes,
Ooh,
I was
A
surprised.
good one. That was a good one. See, that's what I'm saying. I think I may have overthought some of these. Like I went down weird rabbit holes. Like I actually have at the bottom of my list here, I have the A-Team, like various members of the A-Team.
Right.
I have Abraham Whistler from Blade. I have Rooster Cogburn. Do you know who that is?
I absolutely know that is. Okay. Yeah.
So
I don't know. I don't know if he would make my list, but interesting.
I just figured like he had just had balls, right? So the guy had,
That's John Wayne from
True
what's
Grit.
The film? True Grit. Yeah.
Who else do I have here? I have Wang Chi from Big Trouble in Little China.
I had a feeling you might. Yeah.
I also have Hugh Glass. Do you know who Hugh Glass is?
No.
Okay, Hugh Glass is the character that the Revenant's based on with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
Basically,
I saw the film,
he got mauled by a bear and then sucked it up and like crawled miles and miles and miles to a settlement. Like just for like tenacity and just luck and toughness.
Yeah, but again, John Wick goes up against him. He's dead in 35 seconds.
That's why I said I had to throw him down there because I just knew he was a badass.
Yeah. And the one thing, and here's what I wrote down, only because I knew I wasn't going to mention them because I'm not really a fan of their films, but you didn't mention them either. But I feel like we're talking about ultimate film badasses, and people might be like, I can't believe these guys didn't mention Chuck Norris and Steven Seagal. So, I'm not a big fan. I've never seen any of the Missing in Action films. I know everybody always talks about how great Chuck Norris is, and maybe we're at fault because we haven't seen those films. And again, Steven Seagal, there's no way I would pick Steven Seagal. I think he's a complete freaking joke, and I've never watched any of his films. But
don't hold back, Glenn. Tell us your real thoughts. And
really, like
I need to.
Am I in trouble? Is he going to come after me?
He might. I mean, that guy's crazy enough. You may just get a knock at your door.
Let's.
And
in all fairness,
Sheriff Seagal.
In all fairness,
take you down.
Whatever condition Steven Seagal is right now, I probably have a fair chance of taking him. In all fairness, no, come on.
I don't. All I know is he's
Steven Seagal's like the
put
guy.
On weight, and he's like a sheriff somewhere in, I think it's Arizona or something like that. Like he's kind of gone off the deep end.
I know you're into martial arts, and to me, Steven Seagal seems like the guy that's in the martial arts class that brags about being a black belt, but he doesn't really know shit. Like that's how he comes off to me.
I have not researched this at all, but I think he's the real deal in terms of Aikido, but I could be way off base.
I don't know. They're just, he just, for me, he just radiates this kind of full of shit vibe. And I could be dead wrong, but that's what he radiates to me.
He could be that too. I'm not even sure. I'm gonna look it up because it's something that has never quite been important enough to me to really know.
And that's good.
I think
you have won at life because of that.
I think now it is though, because I've been asked the question.
It's when you die and you go to heaven, St. Peter goes, was Steven Seagal ever important to you? And if you say yes, he goes, sorry, you can't come in.
And he just slowly closes the book. He's like, listen,
I'm sorry.
I think there's been a mistake. Yeah.
I hear Purgatory's nice.
Go a few doors
this time
down.
of year. You might enjoy it.
I thought you were on the list, but I don't think so. So I'm really annoyed with myself that I did not have the Punisher or Snake Plissken on the list. But hey, I honestly think I went down a few rabbit holes. Like I've got
you have a solid team.
I got Michael Harrigan on this list. Do you know who that is?
No, who is
He's Danny Glover from Predator 2. Predator 2 is one of my favorite bad movies because he's just a savage in that movie. And he goes up against a predator in like urban dystopia. I think they're in Detroit or LA. It might be LA.
I think it's LA.
It's probably LA. All those 90s movies are in LA.
Mm-hmm.
With the exception of RoboCop, which is Detroit. Or the RoboCop 2 anyway. I believe is in the 90s. Whatever. But he, takes on a predator and comes out on top somehow.
Right.
And that's literally the only reason that he's even worth a mention. Because much like Dutch Schaefer, he's like Dutch Schaefer. If Dutch Schaefer were a cop and not as skilled, he'd be Michael Harrigan.
All right.
I figured he's worth a mention, but I didn't.
Yeah, I don't think he's not the cream of the crop, that's for sure.
No. But he's ridiculous.
All right, cool. I think we're good. I think we're done. Anything else we need to cover, or are we good with our...
I think we're good, and the more and more we speak, the more I'm regretting John McClane.
Oh, well.
And
now it's recorded
You've planted the seeds of doubt. Yeah, now my shame is recorded forever. Okay, that's okay.
Well, let's see. Maybe you'll get shit on in the comments, or maybe people will support you. Who knows?
Maybe. I don't know. Either way, I'm going to face the music. I'm going to take my medicine. Like I said, iron dice. I accept it. I accept my fate.
I appreciate it. Very honorable.
I try.
I guess that's it for this episode.
Yep.
Thanks, guys, for listening. As again, please like and subscribe and all that good stuff. And I think I said last time you could download us everywhere now. One of the coolest things in the world, I don't know if I mentioned this last time, is now you could just say, Alexa, play Two Reasonable Guys, and she plays us, which is kind of cool. So you can get us that way. But you can get us every place else, too. I think you might have mentioned it, but you know what? It is very cool. So I have no shame in hearing it again. But we're everywhere. Cool. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, every place. Just, check out the link in the description. And if you're listening to this on YouTube, if not, then you know how to get us because you're listening to us someplace else.
Yeah. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments. Even if those thoughts are shredding us on our choices.
I think we have 23 listeners now. So the number is slowly moving up.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll get a few more. But until then, I'm Glenn.
And I'm Kevin.
And we are Two Reasonable Guys. Take care, guys.
Take care, all.